Things we hold too close, we cannot see. So I want to let all that I hold sacred go free. Oh, I know staring at the sun will make me blind. So I need some time in darkness, distance, to keep me in the light. Dreams we hold too tight cannot come true. So I want to give all of my old dreams to you. Oh, I know I could ride this train from here to the day I die, but I'd rather check my baggage here and tow it around the sky. Oh, things we know too well get in our way. So I want to question my own answers every day. Oh, I know the whole mystery can't fit into one mind. So let it out to empty it out and take it one piece at a time. All the things that we hold too close, we cannot see. So I want to let all that I hold sacred go free. Oh, I know. Staring at the sun will make you blind. So I hope you spend some time in the darkness and meet me back in the light.
Welcome to all. This is a church built in person. So, and I want to invite Amanda Lawrence to come share with us.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Lawrence, and I am here with two hats, well, maybe a hat and a scarf, to wear for you today. I'll start with my Board Person of the Day hat and give you some important announcements. The first thing I'd like to announce is our Volunteer of the Month for the month of November, who thankfully is here, so we can acknowledge him. Kevin Henry, back in the back. I'm not sure any of us know everything that Kevin has done to keep this place going during the pandemic. I felt a little like we were coming back into his space as we've been coming back here with all that he has done and given. Thank you for letting us come back. We appreciate it. The list of things that he has done for this church during the pandemic and before the pandemic and outside these walls and inside these walls is too long to list, but if you don't know what they are, you should find out because they're fantastic. The second thing I want to tell everybody about is our Give Away the Plate recipient for the month of November, which is the North Louisiana Food Bank. Food insecurity is a problem in our region. It's a problem everywhere, and the food bank serves the people in this region who need it the most. Around the holidays is an especially terrible time to be hungry or to be food insecure. So that's who we've chosen to support this time of year. If you'd like to make a donation to the food bank as well as your pledge, be sure and indicate that if you're making an online donation or if you're putting money into the baskets at the back of the sanctuary today. There are other great things happening in the church right now. While our, two things have stopped. There goes my brain. After service coffee hour, since we're here in person, we're not having that now. Oh, and Barbara's Monday night Zoom pod is on hiatus permanently. But the Zoom lunch on Wednesday and the Salty Chalice on Saturday night are still opportunities to get together virtually. We continue our service time at the Highland Blessing Dinner. There is Larry Andros's Saturday afternoon meditation. That's a ton of information, but I guarantee you that Steve Caldwell is, as we speak, posting links to the relevant things in the chat. And if you want to know all of this information in advance, I just got it by looking at this week's email. So if you are on the email list, you can know all of these things before we even say them. The last announcement that I have as a board member today, we are in our pledge drive. I feel like I should be on Red River Radio because we only survive thanks to the support of listeners like you. And if you haven't filled your pledge form out yet, we hope that you'll do it soon. Statements were sent out this week, or attempted to be sent out this week. The PDFs were corrupted. Paper copies are going out in the mail, so you'll get your statement that way, and we will see if we can solve the technological problems to send them out via email as well. So those are my board announcements, and now I am Amanda Lawrence, the chair of the Food, Folks, and Fun Committee, here to talk to you about today's potluck. I have at different times referred to potlucks as my love language and my favorite spiritual practice. So the fact that we are back together today with a potluck for Thanksgiving, I hope you all are as excited about this as I am. That might be too much. I hope you all are almost as excited about this as I am. We're obviously still concerned. We're obviously still trying to take precautions to keep everybody as safe as possible. So those of you who are here in person, when you head down to the social hall, you'll find fewer tables and chairs than usual, and those chairs are spread out. If you have a partner or someone who's in your bubble with you and you're comfortable putting more chairs at a table, we're certainly fine with that. We'd ask that you ask before you sit at a table where someone already is, just to make sure that we're all comfortable. There are also tables outside in the breezeway under the awning, and there are tables in the last two classrooms. If you find yourself physically distanced from the rest of the potluck, either here in our building or those of you at home, we have a way for you to join in virtually. I'll be putting a Zoom link into the chat for the Facebook group. If you join that Zoom after the service, I have a way for you to sit at a table and share a meal with folks who are here. We also may have some immigrant friends joining us this morning, hopefully who will be here for the service. Oh, unfortunately, they had to be at the airport too soon. We were going to let them cut line for the potluck, but now it's just a race. Try not to hurt anybody as you head down the hall. I promise there's plenty of food. That's it. I'm so happy to be here with you. It's going to be an amazing day. Thank you.
Good morning. It's nice to see everybody. A couple of things that were not in the email. One is I wanted to remind you that yesterday, November 20th, was Transgender Day of Remembrance. And I want to publicly thank, first of all, to acknowledge that and the sadness that we still have to do that, because the members of the trans community, and particularly trans women of color, are murdered at a higher rate than any other demographic in our population. So that is a hard, sad thing, and important to be recognized, and important to try and keep working to make the world better. One bit of good news that comes out of it, though, is that City Council Representative Lavette Fuller introduced a resolution on Friday at the City Council meeting in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance, and particularly lifting up the people from here in the area, including Jerry Judd, who was a valued member of the LTA group here and is very, very missed. And so it was wonderful that she did that on Friday, and I wanted to publicly acknowledge that and thank her for that. The other thing I want to tell you about, there should have been a flyer today, but we are kind of a different configuration of our tech crew today, and so there's been a lot to think about this morning. And thank you for letting us know about the audio, those of you at home, and bear with us as we go along. But look this week for a flyer and more information. We are going to have on Sunday, December 12th, a holiday market. And that will consist of, if you make jewelry, if you have art, if you bake, if you do something creative, or if you have some stuff in your house you'd like to get rid of and want to have like a mini garage sale out of your car, This is going to be whatever you have and would like to bring and sell. There'll be a $25 spot fee for your spot in the parking lot. And then whatever you make is yours to keep. If you want to donate more to the church, that's fine, but we won't turn it down. But whatever you make from that is yours to keep. And as I said this week, hopefully this evening, but at least by tomorrow, we'll have a flyer out online and we'll have a registration. So spread it around to your artsy friends. I know we have a lot of y'all out there, and come and participate and come and shop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Miss Susan and Amanda. Sometimes she would rather me not mention it, but I would like to acknowledge Amanda Lawrence, who year after year has prepared the bread for our Thanksgiving ritual. She bakes it herself, and that's what we will be having. The ritual will be done in here this year instead of down the hall. We've done it the same way for a lot of years down the hall, but to try to honor the restrictions and be mindful of people. What we're asking is that we start in the front and make a distanced circle around the edge of the sanctuary. The lyrics, the litany will be on screen. The cups that you were given as you came in, somebody will walk around and fill it from a pitcher. And the bread will be, which is in individual rolls, will be carried by one person around to everybody on site so that we can do the ritual. But it'll happen in here this year, and then we'll go down the hallway, and like Amanda said, it'll be a race for the potluck. All right. Let's catch a few breaths and try to be where we are. And enter into a spirit of worship and its etymological roots for lifting and elevating and contemplating matters of worth. Our opening hymn is number 347 in the gray hardback hymnal, if you care to look in the hymnals. Otherwise, the lyrics will be up here on the screen so that you don't have to use your hymnals if you can see the screen. It's Gather the Spirit by Jim Scott. If you will rise in body or spirit to sing with us. much. Please be seated. I like enthusiastic singing. These words are from Laura Horton Ludwig and Gwen Matthews. The wheel of the year has turned again. Once more, the Thanksgiving season has arrived. How shall we sing our song of gratitude now? For what shall we give thanks? For this moment, for friends near and far, for our breath, for love, for courage and clarity, for strength, for delight, for laughter, for beauty, for the tables round which we might safely sit alone or gathered, for the food we enjoy, seasoned with love and memory, for the sun and moon and stars in the sky, for the trees who have seen so much and still stand proud, stretching themselves to the sky, for the bright voices of children, for the wisdom of elders, for actions that bless the world, for hard work that makes a difference, for music and art and celebration, for generosity, for compassion, for endurance, for hope, for joy. For all these things, we give thanks as we worship together. Today, we are thankful for you and what you bring to our church. Your spirit, talents, generosity, imagination, and dedication affirm our fellowship and create our beloved community. Our heartfelt thanks to you on this day and for all days to come. For those who embrace Thanksgiving as a day to honor the gifts of family, friendship, abundance, security, we celebrate with you and join our voices to hold aloft all sacred blessings. For those who hold Thanksgiving as a day of sadness, who mourn for the hurt and loss of native peoples, who are lonely, who grieve the loss of those dear and beloved, we hold your heartache and sorrow so you do not have to carry the burden alone. Blessings be upon you, and blessings be upon us all. I would invite Miss Susan up.
We're going to lead the children's talent sliding, which has a new part at the end of it. So you ready? We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. Thanks.
Thank y'all so much. Navigating this up here. I will again take a vote. I think it's difficult to sit out there and watch someone talk at length when you can't see their mouth move, and I am a good distance away from you. So is there anyone uncomfortable with me taking my mask off while I speak? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Today in this season of Thanksgiving, as we intentionally focus on what is good in our lives, we light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude and celebrate the abundance we find together. In this energetically shared sanctuary, although it feels very quiet in here today, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity in the authentic and gentle manner of our connections. We cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for every way we nourish and uplift each other. For it is in the sharing of this hallowed time together we discover the deep ways that sustain us. With each new dawn, let day break on our gratitude for family and friends, for the freedom to find and live into our own truth, for the community of those who gather here, and the promises we offer one another. Let the light of day bring the grace of faith into our lives. Is there someone who would like to lead our unison affirmation as we rise in body or spirit? David Kate wanted to, or Jackson? Oh, Jackson wanted to lead our unison affirmation. Would you rise our spirit and say the unison affirmation with us, please? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Thank you so much. We have another hymn. It's Come Ye Thankful People, and the words that we will be using will be on the screen. Y'all wanted to sit down kind of quickly after the unison affirmation. Let's get some enthusiasm going here. Except that's not the rhythm of the song. It could be. I also want to thank Miss Susan for playing our piano again so faithfully.
I want to get back to telling stories without cheat sheets. And it's my goal to do that, but I've been sitting home at my computer, and I'll admit, I got a little lazy on that in that regard, so bear with me. So last week I talked a little bit about how it's possible to celebrate a day of gratitude, and it's important to do so, and not just once a year, but that we can do it while still having the courage to tell the whole truth of the beginnings of our nation, even when those truths are hard to hear. Now, I want to talk about something else for a second, so bear with me, I promise it's connected. I am not quite old enough to actually remember this, but I have read and I've been told that they used to have X-ray machines in shoe stores. Yes. And for two reasons. I think for one reason, the shoe salesman thought it was kind of scientific, you know, that they want to look at the structure of your feet to fit the shoes for you, right? But also because it was kind of cool. You know, it was a big draw for kids. You know, you get to see your bones. Oh my goodness. And people would just go and stick their feet under there, you know, kind of for fun, right? Well, in time, we realized that even though X-rays can be a really important tool of medicine, especially if you break a bone, too many X-rays can also be really bad for you. They could even make you sick if you were just exposed to them constantly. Not the amount of when you go to the doctor, because they're very careful about that. So I don't want anybody getting scared of having X-rays at the doctor. But just to do it all the time for fun like that, they found out it's not good for people. It's not healthy. And so this fun thing that everybody had loved and looked forward to at the shoe store went away because it was harmful and it was hurting people. And that's kind of how I think about the old Thanksgiving story that's been told for years about the happy pilgrims and Indians feasting together in a peaceful scene. And as we said last week, it really wasn't the first Thanksgiving because the Mashpee Wampanoag had been celebrating Thanksgiving every day and for years. And we know that dressing up as an imitation Native American is very disrespectful. We know these things. We've learned better and we continue to try to do better. Just like the X-rays in the shoe store. Something that we may have thought of as fun and that reminded us of this holiday or whatever, we found out was hurting people. So another way to talk about it is to think about what happens when a part of your body gets hurt. Like if you've ever cut yourself, like maybe you went barefoot and you stepped on something sharp. Did you just kind of slap a Band-Aid on that thing and forget about it? I mean, didn't bother to clean it. Maybe you were walking barefoot and it was kind of dirty or whatever, but whatever. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. I'll just slap a Band-Aid on it. Is that how you've been treated or that you've treated yourself when you got hurt? Is it? No, of course not. Thank you. What did you say, Jackson? You clean it first. Exactly. You clean it. You take care of it. Then maybe you put a Band-Aid on it when you're going out to do things so that you protect it, but at the same time, you're going to change that Band-Aid, and you're going to give it what? You're going to take the Band-Aid off sometimes and give it some water to clean it, yeah, but also air. I heard it somewhere. Light and air. And so if we think of our country like a body that's been hurt, that has a wound, it's important. We have to see it in order to treat it, right? Yes, yes. So when we have hard stories to tell about this holiday, stories of killing and of stealing land from people who were already here, telling the truth of history is a lot like treating a wound. We have to see it in order to treat it. And it's not about feeling guilty, because that does no good at all. A very wise person said one time, guilt is a lot like your grandma's rocking chair, a whole lot of commotion, but it doesn't get anywhere. Guilt is not the purpose. It's about being aware of who was here first, who is still here, and how we work together to make our city and our state and our country better for all of our people. And for the opportunity to do that and do that back together in person, we can be truly thankful. Thanks.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position, one in which your body can be balanced and your spine straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space, and imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. As you now rest in the unlimited possibilities of this moment, reflect. Today, I long for more of life, the fullness and depth of presence that will make my heart sing, the beauty and joy that will bring light and meaning to my path. I long to touch the world intimately and to rest in the healing warmth of beloved community. Yet with this longing, I find awakening in me a host of feelings, fears, and judgments. So often, life seems more empty than full. I've experienced loss, betrayal, disappointment. I have learned to contract, protect, and withhold. Opportunities for joy and peace can seem few and far between. How can I open to the gifts of life I seek? An ancient wisdom answers from deep within. You need not drop the hard-won lessons you have learned. You need not close your eyes or mute your voice to what you truly see. You need only lift your heart on the wings of gratitude to embrace a greater vision. Today, I will weave the song of gratitude into all that I encounter. I begin with my own breath and touch the core of gratitude I feel for the life that lives itself through me. Like ripples expanding in a pool, I find more and more of life transformed by simple gratitude. The bread I eat, the roof that shelters me from storm, gifts of life now acknowledged and embraced with gratitude. The mind that knows and learns the patterns of my unfolding world, the vision that guides my steps, the spirit that reminds me of the way of peace. For all of these, I now give thanks. For beloved community, whose eyes reflect my truth, whose voices join with mine in celebration, I now give thanks. For the world that gives its beauty through every day and night, I now give thanks. Even for the many pains and challenges that encourage me to choose and speak the truth. Gratitude now unfolds. In this sacred moment, with thankfulness, abundant, full, and deep, I center in my breath. Breathing in, I immerse myself in the abundance that is life itself. Breathing out, I bring the healing born of gratitude to every step I take.
Not been here before today. The way that we do our candle lighting now is a bit different. I will hold the chalice down here with some fireplace matches. And if you will take a match, light it from the chalice, and then light your candle, there's a receptacle to put your lighted match in afterwards so that we don't have people blowing the flames out. And if you will wait until the person in front of you is close to done before you light your match, then it will light the candles more easily. But you'll see, if it sounds confusing, it'll be clearer if you see people go before you. Thank you, Sue. and love and hope.
This is an Indigenous land acknowledgement borrowed from the Toronto Public School System and adapted for our purposes. We would like to take this time to acknowledge that this church, All Souls, is situated upon traditional territories. The territories include the Osage, Caddo, and Quapaw nations. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as Session 202 of the Schedule of Indian Land Sessions of 1834 and applies to lands throughout Caddo Parish and southwest Arkansas. We also recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land today.
So I have an exercise. It's concerned with lifting our spirits, not the logistics of where, to whom, or to what. And as I share the following reading from the Reverend Naomi King, who, I don't know why I feel compelled to say this, is Stephen King's daughter. If you will, each time I say the words thank you, and the way I say the words thank you, please then repeat thank you. Let us join our hearts and spirits in gratitude on this wondrous day as we hold the abundance of our lives before us. And particularly, think about everything of which you have more than you need, whether it's room or clothes or food or friends. Or health. I don't know if that's possible, but we remember on this day of bounty those who do not have enough, whether of food or kindness, who are afraid, who are lonely, and who suffer. We wish, pray, work for the abundance of this world to be shared, for fear to become love, for the lonely to find welcome, and for the suffering to know rest and joy. So for the laborers, the love, the care that gave and continue to give us the delights of this and every day, we say thanks. For the nourishment of our spirit, the challenges that strengthen us, and the friends we have on the journey, we sing thanks. You want to do it again? Hey, for all that is our lives, for these good gifts, we whisper thanks. Overflowing with gratitude, let us shout thanks. Amen. Miss Susan, I guess we're not doing that. So think of something important in your life for which you're grateful. Now think of something about which you feel it's important to tell, to be truthful. During which of those two thoughts did you feel the most relaxed? These days, a good bit of our thinking about truth is the result of things that are not truthful. The unfortunate part of that is that we have an inborn inclination toward having the negative side of the equation take up more space in our brains. The human brain has a natural tendency to give weight to and remember negative experiences or interactions more than positive ones. They stand out more. Psychologists refer to this as a negativity bias, not one that Brian McLaren mentions, but he does talk about catastrophe bias, but it's not quite the same thing. They stand out more. So our brains are wired to scout for the bad stuff and fixate on the threat. Enter anxiety, or perhaps tensing up into a more rigid emotional and mental posture. In this holiday season, there's some good news, in spite of all the bad news. The part of the brain, spirit, heart that feels gratitude is a separate aspect of our being. It can, in fact, serve to untangle some of the knots we find in ourselves, our thinking and our experiences. We can choose a path of gratitude that will uncoil those springs enough to clear the detritus of falsehood, and as a result, allow us to speak truth more clearly with less of the defensive, off-putting edge that makes it less likely for other people to hear what we're saying. Gratitude is a wonderful thing. And what does it say about us that we have to set one day aside a year to remind us to be grateful. This quote is from, I'm going to say it in Americanese, Henry Frederick Emile. I'm sure that's not the way that it's supposed to be pronounced. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude, and gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words, but gratitude is shown in acts. Let us till and plant and harvest gratitude. Would you join me in singing "We Are Thankful"? I'm going to invite you to rise, body and spirit, and try to stay out of the way so people can see that while I also see my voice. And out of the way. Do it. We are thankful for those who have gone before. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful for shelter away from the storm. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are mindful of how many blessings we share. In the circle of trust, we are bound by our care. Let us lift up our wonder and humbly declare, we are thankful, thankful. We are thankful for every ordinary moment. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful for healing and justice restored. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are learning to live every day as a prayer. Miracles, grateful and praise. We are bound by our care. Let us lift up compassion and humbly declare, we are thankful, thankful. We are thankful. I realize for new people, you may never have heard that before. It's something we generally do around this time of year. Do I have my board people prepared to do the passing out of the elements when we get to it? I know that some are back in the social hall helping set stuff up, and others are involved in the technical production. We have well, I would like to invite, before we do that, I would like to invite the choir up to sing for you. Oh. We had a dinner rehearsal this morning. We have not seen each other face to face in almost what, 1.75 years. And so we offer this with love. I hope that you will receive it in the Even with our faces covered up, that felt great. I do not have a copy of my script. I thought, is it in the orders of service? Okay, because my internet went out, couldn't print anything out. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I would like to invite you now, if you will, to make a circle. Please, be mindful of distancing yourself around the edges of the sanctuary. Huh? It will work best if we're kind of in each space, but no, not yet. Oh, we don't. All we do is take one basket down each side. As the basket, please, y'all are looking too close together over there, but spread out some. Okay. Disobedient. As the basket comes by, please only touch the roll that you take from the basket. I could have one of you take this basket up that side. Okay. And one of you take the y'all can do this with me. Oh, you didn't get one. When they come back, we'll get one. No, I meant the bread. In years gone by, we have filed into the social hall, and we've had loaves of bread that we passed around and tore pieces off of. That was something that we may be mindful of even trying to re-include in the future. If you'll bring them back up, Steve, once you get around. You can wait for Rebecca if you want and walk down together. But there are a whole lot of things that we did before that were a bit cavalier as we will have a ritual where we're eating this bread in a second. But, if you can put, each of you get one, please. And the extra cups can come up here, that would be great. Would y'all take a roll, please? Thank you. See. We who rarely go hungry sometimes take food for granted. It's just there, waiting for us when we get to the table. It's just there, waiting for us in endless abundance, arranged neatly and attractively on the shelves of our supermarkets. By the labor of others, our way is made easier. And for this, let us ever remain grateful. May the spirit of life move in us that we may be like bread. May we break the boundaries of our crustiness, shyness, and fear. May we open our hearts to each other that we may grow yet more merciful and compassionate, so that no living or inanimate being shall be outside the circle of our concern and growing love. Nations go to war for the hoarding of bread. People are jailed for the need of bread. People die for the want of bread. It is our task to take this bread and make it our love, our hope, and our communion. A hungry people listens not to reason nor cares for justice, nor is bent by any prayers. There are so many hungry people in the world, that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. All bread we live, by bread we live, for bread we die. We bless these loaves, we bless this bread we have in common with one another and with people all over the earth. We turn our bread into hope, we turn our bread into love, we turn our bread into communion with one another, that we may taste of life's peace. In recent years across the country, wait, we haven't done the next part. No, we haven't. Do we have the cups? Are the extra cups someplace? Thank you.
Something's on fire. Oh my God.
Right here, right here. We're good. We're good. Well, I wonder if that's emblematic. Yeah, well, that was my script. And the cups, please. Oh, thank you. The reason I was wondering about whether that was an omen of some sort, at my ordination, some of the young people that were speaking had their script catch on fire. And my first act as minister of this church was to literally put out fire. So I don't know if this is bookends. Interesting. Okay, did we have pictures go around? This is not the kind of polish we used to have on this ritual. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I was rather OC about the ritual in the past. I guess all of this breaks that pattern, huh? In recent years across the country, around the world, and sometimes even in our own water-rich southern region, we have had cause to begin noticing what happens when safe water is less than plentiful. And still the sky has opened and the supply returned before we were called upon to significantly change our life patterns. How could we witness these things and not then be grateful for the uncommon blessings that are ours? As a common human need, that which across our world links each to all. Water symbolizes both that which is practical and that which is spiritual in nature. Water helped ancient people learn those first lessons about the rights of others and responsibility to a larger society. It became part of the moral and mental legacy parents passed on to their children. We forget that the water cycle and the life cycle are one. Nothing on earth is so weak and yielding as water. but for breaking down the firm and strong, it has no equal. Formless, yet always forming, seemingly lifeless, yet always the source of life. Water symbolizes the whole of living potentiality. Okay. Let us here be reminded to carry gratitude in our minds, hearts, and spirits for every gift, great and small, that we enjoy. Food, shelter, community, freedom, another day of life, and the water that makes it possible. Water is life's matter and matrix, mother and medium. There is no life without water. Water, thou hast no taste, no color, no odor, canst not be defined, art relished while ever mysterious. Not necessary to life, but rather life itself. Thou fillest us with a gratification that exceeds the delight of the senses. When you drink the water, remember the spring. Refreshing water. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you. What an interesting time. Choir, I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for being willing to step out there. This bread is delicious. Please remember to thank Amanda. I want to thank all of the crew that has been here this morning. And I remind the people on the internet of the Zoom call that Ms. Amanda Lawrence spoke about so that y'all can do a feast together. Let's go eat together.